Hello, and thank you for joining me today. My name is Alexa Choi, and I am going to be your host on this lovely journey through the G2Xchange tool. Every single time I do this, we have launched something new, something exciting, so I'm looking forward to showing you everything today. Marianne is working in the background. You can kind of see her on the Zoom. So if you have any challenges with anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to her and introduce yourself in the chat. I don't know how many people we have today, but feel free to put your LinkedIn profile, what kind of company you work for, just put it all in there. And also, this is being recorded, and we do send this out afterwards, and we send it to everybody in our G2 Experience roll up as well. So if you're seeing this after the fact, I'm happy you're here. So I'm going to go ahead and click the home button, and that will take you back to your home page, any place that you're in G2X, because it's pretty easy to get lost in the sauce, be down a rabbit hole somewhere and be like, how do I get back home? So this home button here will take you home, and this is where we are right now. And I wanted to start out over here with your personal profile. You're going to want to make sure that you have all your details added, like your title, your email, your company information, all of those things added. That's a really good way to have people find you. And you can find other people in our directory over here on the left as well. And I wanted to point out something really cool. And sometimes I never talk about this, but today I decided to talk about it. Is that you can go full on dark mode if you want to. I know that there's a lot of people out there who are really serious about their dark mode. So that's something really cool that we built in. And like, tell me that you have people who are into tech building your tool, dark mode. And then also, if we're going to be talking about this toolbar up here at the top, I wanted to tell you that this little bell here is where you can click into and see all of your saved searches in one place. So if you save a search, which is fairly easy to do, and I'll show you how to do it, and you're like, I want to be able to change it, edit it, run it, or any of those other actions, you can click into this bell here at the top. And then, of course, we have a way for you to bookmark things if you want to open them and find them later. You can go ahead and click this little bookmark icon here, and that will take you to the full list. So that is something that we have. So, all right, and then this little status button here will tell you if G2X is up or if it's actually down. I know that, whenever Netflix dies, I'm always like, hey, is Netflix down for everybody, or is it me? Is it my internet? What's happening? So this will tell you if G2X is actually down or if there's a bigger issue somewhere else. Marianne, was there a question that popped up?
No, I took care of it. Sorry. It's a
Okay,
background.
cool. Yep, no worries. All right, I am monitoring like the little thing that pops up that says there's a question, and I do want this to be interactive. So if you have a question as I'm going through the platform, please don't hesitate to type it in there, and I'll ask Marianne periodically, are there any questions? And then I will answer them live on the spot. So that'll be a really great way of engaging. Also, I wanted to point out before I get too deep into the platform that this little question mark here will lead you to a form that when you fill it out, we'll kick it over to our help desk. And we do have a Zap set up between our help desk and our Slack messaging. So somebody's always on top of it. We have a very well-run help desk with an amazing customer success team. So if you have a question, challenge, issue, can't log in, want to add somebody, delete somebody, all of those different things, go ahead and hit that question mark. You can type it in there and be on your way, and somebody will get back in touch with you. All right, so let me go back to the homepage. Here we are, and I'm going to talk through each one of these sets of different options. So the very top is our curated intelligence section. This is what G2X has been known for probably 11 years. So this is like what's hot and trending. How do you get out in front of different things that are happening? How do you know who to talk to, where to go, what to say to those people when you get there? And really that front line of your go-to-market strategy. And then how do you fill your funnel from the top? So that's kind of the curated intelligence section, and we're going to go piece by piece. The tools section are really like different things that you can use to help build and grow and support those other functions that I was talking about. And then your intelligence section down here is really different segments of data. And we can get into all of those. And then down here at the bottom, the much loved GovCon directory. And I will definitely talk about that as well. But for now, just know that our site is split into 3 different verticals. You have access to all of them. It was so funny. I was going through like old text messages, and this one gal who I'm close with has been asking us for like 6 years to merge all of the data into one. And so we really have been hearing that over the years. And recently we did, I think it was like June 17th, that we basically merged all of the data into one platform for everybody. So if you are a rep that's covering all of, DoD and health, well, now you've got them both. And so you don't need to be, worried about, trying to log into 2 different verticals. So now they're all here, they're all accessible, and it's really great for everybody. So I'm going to pop into let me just jump into FedCiv real quick. And I wanted to point out something that's kind of new, and it's this vendor profile down here at the bottom. And essentially what this is it is your company thought leadership documents, capability statements. Anything that you want to use to highlight your company goes here, and this is actually searchable here as well. So if you just wanted to select that and hit close and save your search, and you were like, who should I be teaming with? Well, obviously the most forward-thinking companies out there probably. And why wouldn't that be the companies that we're adding to this section, right? So if I just look through what some of these are, I'm going to go ahead and pop this one up right here. You've got a lot of information in one place, and you can kind of come down here and see what it is that they do. You can associate this to a teaming contractor pipeline. So you can have pipelines for your teaming partners, not just your pursuits, which is a different way of looking at it, which I think everybody should do. And then of course you can jump into the company profile from here. Also, when you're in the GovCon directory, which we're going to cover later, and if you wanted to upload all of your documents into there, they will be indexed over here in that same section. So you don't have to worry about putting them anywhere. They'll just automatically be there. So for those of you that are new here with us today, the information that we track is listed here. So we've got awards that are so hot, a lot of companies find out that they lost from us because we're on the spot. We're there. We'll let you know the minute it touches down on FPDS. You're gonna get that email in your inbox, which is the daily take. You'll get this every single day, and it's gonna be telling you what the trending awards are. So you're gonna know immediately whether your team has lost, has won, what's happened, blah, 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 all that. Industry moves are something that I feel like are so strategic, but not enough people understand the hows and the whys. So imagine, especially in 2025's day and age, you have govies that have went from one agency to launching their own company. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So I'm going to hit industry moves, and I just did that. So I'm going to pop up this guy right here. Glenn Farham has joined GovBench as CEO. So this guy came from DoD as the AI technical lead of the CDAO, by the way. And, he has launched his own company called GovBench. See, these are the kinds of things that we track, and we'll tell you immediately when they happen. So imagine if you were the first person to reach out to Glenn and be like, hey man, congrats on your new company. I can see you've been doing a lot of really cool stuff. I would love to kind of like talk about how we could team together. He would be 100% open to that, right? And I don't know, Glenn, I'm sure he's cool, but this is kind of why we give you this information in that like super easy to understand and easy to get sort of a method of the industry moves. And then of course you see this big green save search button. This is how you save your searches. And I'm going to show you like a really cool way of doing it. Like, well, what if I want to save a search on like a technology? Let me show you how that works. So hit that home button. You're going to come up here, and I like to call this our global search. And I'm just going to type in the name ServiceNow because that's an actual great low code, no code technology out there. Hit this see all results, and really it's going to bring us into a ServiceNow search across all of our data. And then from here, you can really drill down into those different sections for ServiceNow. And like you're just like, okay, well, I'm only interested in ServiceNow opportunities. All right, cool. So you can hit that, and then you can save your search. Or if you're just ServiceNow was so hot, you could hit save search and then type in ServiceNow here and then hit save search. And then of course, You can even like change your frequency into instant or daily. I suggest daily just because G2X does a really great job of rolling it up into one email so you don't get bombarded with like email, 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 email. Um, so that's what that's about. This is a really great way of doing like an overall technology search, like AWS Bedrock, right? That would be another good search term up here. But okay, I'm going to hit that home button again, and I'm going to take you down to the events database and pause here for a second because I've been talking for 10 minutes, just to see,
And
does
I have a
anybody have any
question.
questions?
Yes, I do have one. Okay, so I noticed the IHS National Patent Opportunity on the homepage has the notice ID in the title. This looks pretty cool. Is this an preview of how opportunities are going to be displayed moving forward?
Which one are we talking about?
The IHS National Patent Opportunity on the homepage. Yep,
This one.
that.
I got you. Let's take a look at it and see. Um, you know, it sounds like this is a positive thing for you, so I'd like to say yes. But but it is probably I don't think we did it that way on purpose for as like, hey, we're gonna go ahead and put this in the title, but this is a good piece of feedback for us. So if that's something that you like, I think we could really take it under advisement. And this is one of the cool things about working with a really tech leaning forward company that's small. We listen to our customers. And if you're telling me that having the notice ID in the title is something that would help you, then absolutely it's something that we would consider. Um, so yeah, thanks for the question, and we're gonna put it on our list for consideration.
And they said they love that detail.
Oh, well, yeah, we definitely have to do it now. Cool. And I do kind of understand why this would be kind of helpful. These notice IDs, the government doesn't do a super great job all the time of attaching like a thoughtful, consistent use of those. That's one of the challenges. This is why we're in business, right? Is because keeping track of the data and making sure it's all in one place is kind of really tough. So this is one of the things that we like to do. And so I really appreciate that feedback. Um, all right, so let's pop into the events. Thank you for the question. I love this to be engaging. So if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to jump in. That was a great one. Right now we are looking at um, this is a funny photo for this. It looks like a server room, but yeah, we've got the most robust set of events in the entire industry, and they span the country. So if you're looking to break in Ace Alamo or somewhere else, we've got all kinds of stuff in here. And just note that it's not just industry events, it's also the government events that you should be aware of as well. This is probably a really hot one that's going to close down pretty soon, probably for registration. So get in there, get registered, and make sure that you have a strategy for having somebody come in here and look at these events and really get them in front of your executives to find out what your event strategy is. As more and more companies move from BD and capture into go to market, it really is being more strategic upfront. Really, like, where are we going? What are we doing? Why are we doing it? Who are we wanting to do it for and with, right? So this event strategy is really critical. So that is something that you're going to want to make sure that you have on point. Our analyst reports are a really great way to take a look at different recompeting things, all kinds of stuff, to be honest with you. We've got all kinds of reports in here, and you can kind of go through here and get an idea of different things. So for example, this report right here, we talk about all kinds of things in these reports. And this one is really about the task orders that are coming up for recompete on the CIOSP3. Who's winning, who's holding these big GWAC MAC IDIQs, and what are the task orders that are being recompeted here per big prime. And these are technically not that easy to find. So having them all in one place with actually linked back to the actual data is pretty useful. So and you can see ServiceNow still being highlighted here. But that's really a great report if you're looking to kind of understand the overall strategies. And this is the kind of reports that we like to write in the analyst reports. Okay, so I'm gonna if nobody has any questions, I'm gonna come down into the tools section and keep working my way down here on the left-hand side. The Doge tracker is something that we are tracking all of the things that are canceled from the government. And I just want to point out that when you're here, you can absolutely um, you can absolutely change around the contract value. You can actually grab and pull things over and just make sure that you are looking at the data in the way that you want to. So all of these tabs are movable. And that's actually true for all of our tables. So just wanted to let you know that. And then of course you can export as a CSV, or you can get a little alert every time we add things. You can get an email knowing that that has been done. Our proposals, I'm not going to pop into this, but this is really a tool called GovAIQ, and it is a really, really great way to go from 0 to light pink in like 15 minutes rather than 15 days like usual. So it is like an AI proposal writer support tool. Very, very cool. But it takes some time to train it and this and that. But just when you're in here, play around with it and give us your feedback. I'm going to jump into our pipelines tool. Pipeline is really I'm actually really love this tool. It is a way of building out your pursuits in a way that you can track them. And then in my opinion, just from having, being somebody that has done this for many, many years, I really like the idea of running a step review through our pipeline tool because it really does give you all of the information here that you can then, when you're pitching it to your executives, you've got your must win buttons up here. You can go to your opportunity page. You can delete this opportunity. You can kind of look at the entire solicitation inside of your pipeline, which is kind of cool. You can figure out your P-Win, your work share. You can write capture notes. You can put tasks in here. You can add tasks. You can view in calendar. One of the things that I love about our pipeline tool as it pertains to others is it's very tailored to government contracting. I mean, I've used Pipedrive and this thing and that thing and Salesforce and all of it before myself. Salesforce is a CRM. It's not a pipeline tool. So that's, like use the right tool for the job. Every time I try to use a fork to flip a pancake, I'm always like, right tool for the job, Alexa. So a pipeline tool is made to groom and to build a pipeline. And so when you're in here, this right here, if you guys are familiar with Department of State Evolve, it's a agency-wide BPA IDIQ, which means they're going to be pulling in a lot of task orders from things all around the Department of State, all the different bureaus. So if I pop in here to G2X Capture Insights, you're actually able to assign different pieces of information to this actual IDIQ. And here's the cool thing here. Hit that little plus button. You can run keyword searches and grab these and add them to your pipeline. Very, very cool. And then you can just click out of that to get out of there, come back to the details page, and then click on the solicitation details. So if you're in the overview page, this is really how you change some of those different things that you're seeing up here on the top is in the overview page. It's going to ask you like your different critical decision factors. What's the NAICS code and like all the different parts and pieces. So that being said, I'm going to pop down into our opportunities page and see if we've got any questions. Any questions at all?
Nope, doesn't look like it.
Okay, fantastic. So now I'm moving into the data analytics tools. And really, I mean, that's the way that I feel like they're used for, but this is a feed from sand.gov, and it's really great for coming in here and let's just take it by NAICS code. This is one of the ways I like to do it. And I'm gonna just select the NAICS code, hit close, and then I'm gonna search. And it's going to be telling me everything that is new for this particular NAICS code. There's another way. There's all kinds of ways. I mean, like our filters are here. You can do it by whatever you want. But remember, each one of these is movable. And let me just pop into this one here. Wanted to let you know that you can actually add to pipeline here. And it's the first thing it's going to ask you is, do you want to create a pipeline or do you want to add it to a pipeline you already have? So that's kind of an easy way of doing it. And when you come on down, you can, if there was a document attached to this, you could actually open it inside of G2X, which was really cool. But then if you scroll on down, really the data becomes more valuable the more pieces that are connected to it. So as you scroll on down, you can see that we actually have been writing about the NGA geospatial RFI for quite a while, and this is the warehouse piece for it. So then, if you were looking to figure out like, okay, what is the government really looking to do? You've got all this other data that you can kind of like bring the dots together because as well as I know, that being a capture executive is a little bit like being a detective. Alrighty, so that's our opportunities section. Our awards section here is really a feed from USA Spending. So it is the other side of the coin, what's been awarded. And of course, you've got all your filters over here. I'm going to go ahead and jump into NAICS code, add that one. I'm just going to do the same thing over here so you guys can see just from like a cohesivity. And then Marianne, did we have a question?
Yes, when will data exports be available? I heard that's going to be coming soon.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question. And I think data exports are really on the list of things that we're going to be releasing within probably 2 weeks. I hate to overpromise, underdeliver, but I think I could safely say 2 weeks. It is probably our next release as well as contract vehicles. So that is the answer to that question. That's a great question. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this description of requirement, move this all the way over to the awardee. So because this is the way I like to look at it is awardee and then description of requirement. So you can see, your CyberArk renewal, which is a cyber tool. You've got all these, you can kind of scroll through here pretty quickly and see the different things. So I'm going to pop in here to this award here and just show you what it looks like. So you can see the data here. You've got your kind of built out in the G2X way, if you will, kind of like the way we're used to looking at it. And come on down. That actually popped into the company. No, that actually was not where I was trying to go. Sorry about that. My bad. I'm just gonna do this really quick because I just clicked into the wrong thing. That's my bad. Oh boy. 541, 512. Okay, and then I'm gonna hit close and I'm gonna hit search so you guys can see. And by the way, my furry companion Riley says hi. And I'm gonna pull over the description of requirement, and I'm gonna pull it over here. Okay, and then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to open this. All right, I clicked on this, which brought me to the GovCon directory. I'm gonna click over here. And there we go. So you've got your award ID, you've got your ceiling value, you've got your burn rate against the total contract value, how much has been totally obligated. These two pieces of information are very good to know. If you're looking at something that you're bidding the recompete for and you're looking to build a price to win analysis, this is the section that you need for that. You've got your awarding agency. And then if you come on down, you've got all the other pieces of information that you would be expecting, like your funding office. You've got how many offers, your number of offers received. You've got all of the things. And then if you scroll all the way down, you've got other pieces of information that we have connected together with this one. Really, it is G2X's goal to bring together all of the different pieces of information so that way when you're looking at it, if you have a question, your answer is already there for you, sitting there waiting for you. So that's our contracts database. And as I had mentioned, along with data exports, you've also got your contract vehicles being released as well. That's our next big release within the next 2 weeks. And you've got data analytics across, I'm just looking at the time. Okay, data analytics across NAICS codes and PSC codes, because the crosswalk between the two can really help you with market sizing. And as you're looking at FY26, it's going to be really important to know, especially if you're transitioning from like a 541.611 NAICS code over to something that might be like a 541.519, which would be a better NAICS code for right now in the environment that we're dealing with. But figuring out who's buying from that NAICS code, how are they buying, where are they buying, and kind of understanding, even as you extrapolate that into like the GWAC MAC consolidation over at GSA, like really understanding that from like a data-driven perspective is really, really valuable. But that being said, I'm going to pop into the GovCon directory and pause and see if there's any questions.
Yes. So can I get my eBuy ops into pipelines?
I love this question. After we release the contract vehicles and exports, we are going to be the very next thing that we're building is task order integration. So basically what that looks like is you would give us your login to eBuy and then we would be ingesting it against your saved searches. And then you can add whatever you need to and want to into your pipelines and use, pull those in and build your pipelines with those as well, for sure. Yeah. We know this is a big challenge and eBuy doesn't make it easy. So that is the next thing up on our list. All right. So right now I'm in the GovCon directory. Before I jump into the company and I realize I've got 5 minutes left, oh my goodness, I'm gonna pop into Explore Now. So if you don't know who you're looking for, this is one of the things I think if the government was on the call, they would love to do, is be like, oh hey, I'm looking for a 8A company that is 541,511 is their main NAICS code, right? So that Rely group pops right up as one of the first ones here. And, tiny company, never heard of them. Just kidding. They're a CMS behemoth. So as I scroll down, I just want to kind of show you what it looks like. You've got all your basic information up at the top, primary NAICS code, as I had mentioned. And then, of course, you can click in here and get more information on this NAICS code. It's going to pop you into our NAICS code database there. As you scroll down, you can kind of see, and one thing I really love about G2X as somebody that has had to extrapolate this data is figure out, for example, if I was looking at competing with Rely Group, and on a rolling 5-year basis, like are they over a small business amount? Looking at this, it says prime contract rolling 44. They're not going to be able to bid certain NAICS codes. They're not going to be able to bid things on a small business because they're already well exceeded the 35.5, right? Coming on down, you can see their customer base. As I said, they mostly are CMS. You've got TSA, IHS. They've got all kinds of different things in here. And you scroll down even more, you can get all kinds of information in here. You can always pop this caret open and it's going to be giving you some of those details in here. Subcontractor data is really, really valuable, especially for a company like Rely Group. So you got IBM, High Point Digital, Bowhead. So, and it's going to tell you which funding agency those are coming from. And it's really, really an interesting thing if you start thinking about subcontracts and relationships and all that kind of stuff. IDV awards, you can see that they're doing a good book of business across a whole bunch of different IDVs. Coming on down, you've got their capability statement in here already. And this profile has been claimed. You can also claim your profile if you are the person that is in charge of your account owner. And if you're not, you can always come up here, hit that little question mark right there and say, hey, who's the account owner? Can you make it me? And if it makes sense, we absolutely will. So then, of course, down here at the bottom, we've roped together all the times we've written about Rely Group. And this is our GovCon directory. So I'm going to come over here, hit the home button. We've got 3 minutes. I'm going to open it up for questions.
I don't see any as of yet.
Okay, cool, wonderful. Well, I'm gonna talk about 2 more things in 3 minutes. Give myself a little bit of a challenge. When you are inside of the daily take, which looks like this, I wanted to let you know that this AI and opportunity analysis is something that we lovingly call Lumen, and it is a free AI RFI shredder. And if you just click the button, we've already preloaded everything in here. You tell the system what you want it to read. And here's a pro tip: don't have AI reading Excel documents, right? Have it reading like PDFs. That's going to be a much better situation. But when you come in here and have it reading your PDFs and you can actually train it and start asking it questions, it's going to be super valuable and great for like thinking outside of the box. What risks are there for small business? What questions can we ask to sway this in one direction or the other? Like really think about some of these really good prompts that would help you out. And the last thing I want to show you is our agencies here. As I had mentioned, like this is the time that people really start benchmarking, market sizing for the next fiscal year if you don't already have your pipeline nailed down. So while you're in here, talk about Department of Justice. I just picked one out of the blue here. It is kind of interesting to see the sub-agency name and the award obligations against each one of these. So Bureau of Prisons is the #1 here. Come on down, you've got your active opportunities across all NAICS codes. This is a pretty interesting list to look at. You've got your associated contract vehicles, you've got your awards, and then you've got your G2X insights. So you've got a lot of different ways of slicing the data and kind of seeing the different things in here. The active opportunities, I think, is one of the I would say most interesting ways of looking at this data, because you can find things where the government has tried to bury them under a NAICS code nobody's ever heard of before. It didn't pop up in your searches because you didn't have it set up that way. Yeah, welcome to government contracting. Alrighty, it is 12:29. I just wanted to say thank you for being on this journey with me. I'll see you on the next one. Have a wonderful day.